Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Jarvis.
Hello Jarvis, and hello everybody else joining us for episode 002 of the Stuff and Things Podcast 2.0. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss our topic this week, the title of which is the MCU done? ? It's my partner in crime, it's Stefan.
Hey buddy, I am expecting quite the podcast today, my friend.
Well, it's an interesting... I mean, we're diving straight into the two kind of areas where we both really enjoy. So the MCU straight away. Next week's show is Star Wars, and we're tackling the two questions, which is this week is the MCU done? A debate that seems to rage constantly and has done since Endgame, really. Yeah. And then you've got, next week we're going to be talking Star Wars, which is, does anyone hate Star Wars more than the Star Wars fans? So I feel like the Marvel fan base this week and the Star Wars fan base next week, we're like just going to make lots of friends.
Loads. I mean, we all know how many friends I have in the Star Wars world.
In the Star Wars community, yeah. Well, I mean, that's perfect examples of what we'll discuss next week. But is the MCU done? I mean, it's kind of... It's such a weird premise of a question, because let's answer it at the start and then let's see how we feel at the end. So just simply asking you the question, is the MCU done? What do you say to respond to that?
I say no.
Yeah.
Because I have some hope left. But
okay.
If you asked me to compare phases 1, 2 and 3 to what we have now,
yeah,
it is like a void of difference.
Okay, so that's okay. So well, that's interesting, because that's a good topic, and it's also where a lot of people are at. Thing like, so if me being asked the question, I'd say no. Purely because I can only talk from a personal point of view, and my enjoyment is still there. So like from my point of view, like I know there's loads of noise, and I know I'll touch on this next, which is the monetary rewards for the MCU now are vastly different. I'm still enjoying it. So even if like, I mean, we'll dive straight into it. The latest film that was released was Thunderbolts Asterix.
Now, I actually quite enjoyed that film. I didn't get to the cinema to see it. I've got a new job, as well as running the old job with the wife, 3 kids at home.
Yeah.
Life just did not give me a evening to go to the cinema and watch it.
So what's just interesting is, like you said then, I actually enjoyed it. You sound surprised that you enjoyed it.
A little bit.
Okay. Why?
The casting of it told me this should be a really good movie.
Yeah.
But also, I am now getting to a stage where I'm a little bit tainted. Mainly, I think, by Ant-Man Quantumania, The Eternals, the Thor movie.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything for me at all. And the last 2 movies I've seen, so it would be Thunderbolts and Captain America.
Yeah.
They almost felt back like kind of phase 1 sort of movies. They were fast, action, few jokes in it, moved the story along. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want from the MCU. I'm trying to answer these questions without going on a 25-minute tangent.
No. Let me rein you back in, because I think this is an interesting thing for us to start at. So the Thunderbolts, just focusing on Thunderbolts for a second, you'd have seen the same as me. Critics loved it, which is something the MCU hasn't had a lot of recently. Critics really enjoyed it. There was really, really great reviews for it. And I would say nigh on universally, the fan, like Rotten Tomatoes scores high, and people who have seen it, like across the board, have been pretty positive. Like other films, you see the negative, like, you know, you really see it. On this film, it seems generally really well liked. Would you agree with that? You've seen sort of vast majority of people enjoying it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
How would you react then if I give you the news that those 3 films you named for Thor, Thor 4,
Thor 4. Yeah.
I'm going to say Love and Thunder, because that's easier for me to say.
Yeah.
Ant-Man 3, and what was the other one you said? Eternals, alright. Well, that's a debate. But anyway, those 3 films all earned double, with Ant-Man triple, what Thunderbolts did at the box office.
Yeah, crazy. I think those movies... Now, okay, I am speaking from a personal point of view.
Well, that's all you can do, yeah.
Okay, I believe those movies are the reason the Marvels, Captain America, and now Thunderbolts, Asterix, have suffered.
Yeah.
Because everybody was on such a high still from things like Doctor Strange's Multiverse, the Spider-Man No Way Home, even still from Endgame. You know, people were on such a high from that.
Yeah.
Not Captain America, Ant-Man Quantumania was kind of the film that originally was going to introduce properly the big bad for the next couple of phases.
Yeah.
Things have happened. That's obviously not the case now.
Things have happened, yeah.
So we all went into that movie like, here we go. This is the start of like the next Thanos level character. This is going to be great. And then we got this film that didn't really do much for it, and some real dodgy CGI and characters.
Yeah.
A tagline for the movie of "I'm not a dick" or something, wasn't it, from MODOK? And you kind of just watched it and you went, "What is this? Like, this is not what we were expecting. This wasn't the next kind of the big thing."
Yeah.
And then you rolled from that into Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
And you kind of watched that. In fact, I'm loading it up now, so I may have been Eternals in between then. But you rolled into the Thor film. Now, Thor Ragnarok is one of the best movies for me in the MCU.
I agree with you, yeah.
It had fantastic humour, character development, and obviously led into big events.
Yeah.
Then you have Thor Love and Thunder, which is coming in off of that hype.
Well,
and I felt kind of missed the mark on so many things, like having the Thanos gauntlet ice cream or whatever it was in the back. You know, it just felt like it missed the mark on so many points.
So on Love and Thunder, I think we can use this as a little bit of an example as well of where perhaps things started to go a little bit wrong. And I think...
Oh, I was well off. Sorry, I was well off.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Eternals was a long way before.
Phase 4 was... Eternals came out before Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
I was well... I'm glad I've just looked this up now. Yeah, I was well off. Eternals was crap. We'll just skip over that one.
It really wasn't. Okay.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I thought was a really good thriller film.
Yeah.
And then we had Thor Love and Thunder, which I think missed the mark entirely.
Yeah.
And then we had Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I thought was a fantastic kind of tribute movie.
Yeah, again, I'm still... That one I found... Yeah, okay, yeah, go on.
There was definitely problems with the movie. I think what they did for Chadwick was fantastic.
Yep.
Whether I think it actually worked making it a kind of the movie the way they did, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Then Phase 5 started with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Okay.
which again I think just missed the mark in many ways. Then we had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yep.
The Marvels got absolutely slated, but I thought was actually quite a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Deadpool and Wolverine, brilliant.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. And then the Captain America and the Thunderbolts, which I thought were really good action movies.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to kind of see. I think the problem is it's difficult to see where it's all going.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation before, the two of us in our WhatsApps and on the phone and stuff before. And we're saying that phases 1 to 3, they seamlessly went into each other.
Yeah.
You knew exactly where you were at each point.
Yeah.
You even had the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show on telly.
Yeah.
Which you didn't need to watch that to know what was going to happen in the movies.
No.
But if you watch the movies as well as the TV show, it was incredible, the first few seasons, how it worked.
Yeah.
Phases 4, 5 and 6. Phase 4 started off, kind of carried on from where we were, fine, not a problem. And then we had the Black Widow film.
Yeah.
And then we had the Eternals film. And you're starting to go, well, kind of guess we can see where these are meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, can I just pause you a second, because the Black Widow film to me was a really good film.
Yes.
And I mean, there was one thing that ruined it for me, and that was Ray Winston's accent. But that's
there was just no need for that.
Yeah, yeah, okay, he could be a Russian sleeper agent who spent so long in London. He's now sounds like a Cockney. Just
find a way to make it work.
Yeah, like if you're gonna cast someone, like we want Ray Winston, he's great. Let him be Ray Winston. Like it sounds silly and sort of trivial, but it sort of took me out, especially when you got Florence Pugh there, basically like accenting it to the max to the point people are like, "You mean she's not Russian? What the hell?"
Yeah.
So that was a really great film, but it also introduced us to Yelena. You know, it kind of wrapped Nat's story quite nicely because it linked in with Infinity War. You know, her getting the jump jet and going off with the vest, and it was like a really nice little kind of, this is a little sub story over here, but it's going to link everything together, and it can take
it nicely.
Yeah, it can take stories forward from there and characters forward from there. So it was nice. Now, Eternals we disagree on, but the one thing I think we can agree on is that the main issue was it was dragged in, like the film. It would have been better as a series. I think we can agree with that. Like the way they tried to tell the backstory of all the characters, etc. It just couldn't fit that in a film, and it would have been probably a much more watchable series. Do you agree, or do you just dislike
I agree.
it?
I think that would have made it a massively better project.
Yeah.
If we'd have had 6 1-hour episodes,
Yeah.
I think it would have worked so much better than having that kind of 1, 2.5 to 3 hour.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was a lot. What the earth?
Now the thing with Eternals, which is really, it was kind of placing these characters in the MCU, and from this it kind of gave us the Celestials, and it gave us the link to Blade via the Jon Snow character, Kit Harington. I can't think what his character name was now, but
yeah.
Right. So, but anyway, the problem is the Celestial that came bursting out of the earth then is not referenced in anything other than a comedy reference in She-Hulk, the series, for, mate, how many years was it from Eternals to New Captain America?
I'm literally just looking now. So Captain America came out this year.
Yeah.
We had Eternals in November the 5th, 2021.
Alright, so it's been 4 calendar years of MCU projects, TV
And
series.
yeah, since then we had
films.
Spider-Man No Way Home
Yeah,
set on Earth, Doctor Strange set on Earth,
yeah,
Black Panther set on Earth,
yeah.
Thor not really set on Earth.
No. Well, it was.
Bits of it were.
Yeah,
bits
New
of it
Asgard. Yeah.
were. We've also then had
Mate,
Ant-Man
countless
and the
TV
Wasp.
series.
A load of TV shows, yep.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, the Marvels, Deadpool. Surprisingly, Deadpool didn't rip into it. And then we had Captain America on the 14th of February, 2025.
So, this is where I think things started to go wrong, in my humble opinion. That film was clear to set stuff up. It was to introduce those characters, establish Celestials, and establish, that, and also establish in the MCU this kind of mystic side that was going to go off and be part of the Blade film that they were writing. That
Yes.
Blade film, I'm not
Still
sure
waiting.
will ever be made. There's
It's
only ever been
got
one
to
Blade.
that point now, isn't it? It's got. Oh yeah, there ever was one Blade. There'll only ever be one Blade.
Yeah, and fourth wall break. Yeah, I will say now that the MCU in the early phases, they had the next film in production when they were doing those little links. Like, it wasn't a case of, oh, we'll put this in here. I think I remember watching one of these documentaries about the MCU, and their first after credit scene where they introduced Sam Jackson as Nick Fury,
Yep.
and they were like, hopefully we'll get to pay this off, sort of thing. Hopefully we will. And then in the Hulk film, which is the MCU with Ed Norton as the Hulk, there is an after credit scene with that, with Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, which a lot of people just don't realise exists. But he's talking to Ross in a bar. And so in those those first two films, they literally set the links up there, and we're just kind of hoping the films would do well enough they could pay it off. Then after that, they were able to kind of go, right, well, these have now done so well, we can say, okay, we're going to do these next three films, and this is how we're going to link them. And that's what they did. And so it was very coherent, very easy for us all to follow. They were just films. And then Endgame happened, and that was a complete monstrous story across all of these movies and all of these characters. And then it ended, and then you had the Black Widow movie, like you said, and then really the Eternals and films that came like that are then all supposed to be linking together again to show us something else, and those links just fell like they weren't really there, and it didn't feel like any connection. Like we said about Thor: Love and Thunder, we know now, thanks to various things, there is a version of that film on the cutting room floor which Taika is very Taika about it, that is dark and is brooding and is brutal. And when you look at the fact that they had Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher, that feels so wasted when you watch that film.
That's how that film should not have been the amount of forced jokes and stuff that were in that film. That film should have been dark and the God Butcher should have been oh my God, whoa.
When you think about the storylines in it, Jane is dying of cancer. Thor has lost everybody. We've been, you looked at Thor and the struggles to Endgame, the men's mental health aspect of that character. They played it a little bit for comedic, but what I found kind of interesting was post that film and the comedic side of it, people suddenly went, do you know what? That wasn't funny, and it wasn't meant to be funny. And when we look at it, actually, this guy, albeit a god, is struggling. He's lost both his parents, his brother, as far as he's aware, again. You know, and now the woman he loved is now dying of cancer. So you look at the way that was played off in the film of like when he gets reintroduced to her and she's become, you know, Lady Thor, and as much as she's wielding Mjolnir, and he's like, Jane, and it's all comedic and over the top, and there is a version of that film that so say exists or existed, which was very different in tone. And the rumor is, of course, no one's ever going to confirm this, is that, you know, dial up the funny, you know, we liked what you did last time, and no, you can't have Gore the God Butcher literally butchering gods. And he's like,
that's preposterous.
Yeah, like, really? Like, literally his name is the God Butcher. I'm having him straight up murder gods with this sword. No, you can't do that. So he changed it and made it goofy and stupid, and he literally walked away. Like, someone said, like, he went to the premiere and then that was it. He never did anything else.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, Taika apparently did the promotion up to the premiere, like the London premiere or something like that, and then walked. And like even didn't take all the money he would have had if he'd like done this. He literally just walked away from it like, I'm not happy with it. But I also saw an interview with him where he was asked, oh, you know, is there a different cut? Like, there's a rumor there's a different cut, and he said, no, what you've got is the finished film, and that's the best version, because I don't believe in director's cuts. I believe in what I put out is the best version of the film. But you only got to watch 5 minutes of that interview to see how angry he is. That guy is like a goofball, laughing, joking, loving life. He gets asked that question, he becomes like pissed off instantly.
Oh, wow.
So there was definite issues there, and one of the interesting things about those series of films you mentioned is those directors were kind of given free rein during that time, because Kevin Feige, who we know ran the ship very, you know, controlled and over everything, was actually seconded by Disney at that point to go and work with Lucasfilm to try and help them develop a cohesive Star Wars universe, if you like.
Yeah.
So he wasn't there. He wasn't at Marvel Studios during these films, which largely me, you, and the vast majority of the audience kind of went, oh, they're not clicking the same way. Wherever you have different opinions on different films, I think we can all agree they just weren't clicking the same way the films were earlier in the
100%.
Because like Eternals, I liked that film. You really didn't, but we can both agree it just didn't. It felt disconnected. It didn't feel. And then when you got these big events at the end, like, okay, so that's going to go in the Blade. That's never happened. So that character, that whole arc meant nothing. And then you've literally got this giant creature bursting out of the sea on the planet Earth, and everyone's ignoring it. And you're like, so was that film just completely pointless then?
Up until the 14th of February this year, yes.
Yes, it was.
And if they had made that movie about something else and not even involved that thing coming out the ground, still yes.
But like you were saying then, so it's interesting. Now, I'm going to say something to you which I think you'll agree with, and then I also know that you've had a conversation with your wife about this. So we're gonna take in turns here. But I had a conversation with my daughter, who you might remember. She reached an age and she was like, "Oh, I want to watch the films, like the comic book films with you, the Marvel films."
Yep.
And so we went through this phase of when we were together, we'd watch one film like a week or a couple of films a week until she was completely caught up. And so she was sort of, I honestly, oh God, that's aging me. I think she was like 11 or 12 when we started, 13, 14, like she was still really into it. And when Disney Plus launched and we started getting Marvel MCU series on Disney Plus, she watched WandaVision with me and loved it, loved every bit of it.
WandaVision was incredible.
And within, I think she got halfway through Falcon and Winter Soldier and lost interest.
Oh.
And then I don't think she'd watched another MCU project at all until Deadpool and Wolverine came out. Now she's nearly 17, and she decided to watch the first 2 Deadpool films and then watch that one because there was so much hype about it.
Yep.
But I made her watch Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan before she watched Deadpool and Wolverine. Judge me as a parent, sure. But she's, and her reasoning, which I, like, for me, I was able to keep up, but her reasoning was she just couldn't follow it all. She was like, there were 3 odd films a year and about 4 to 5 TV series, and you needed to watch it all to know what was going on. And there was just no way I could do that. It was just silly. So when, like, the next film would come out and it was like, oh, there's this character. Where? Who oh yeah, they were introduced in this series, and oh, well, I haven't watched that. I don't know what's going on with that. Or, like, who the hell are the TVA? You know, she genuinely was so disengaged, it put her off. And her friends around a similar age, all the same way. All of them were really into it. All of them really enjoying it. Different characters, different films. But all of them just went, no, it's too much. Like, I can't keep up with all of this. And that kind of cemented in my mind the conversation we've had, which was around feeling lost in, like, well, what year is this? Okay, I've just watched this film, but then I've watched this series which came out 6 months after that film, but was set 2 years before the film. And it was like, okay, right, I am someone who podcasts about all of this. I watch it to a level of detail and I research stuff, and I'm telling you, I cannot work out what the hell's going on. So how could just casual like my daughter, etc., keep up? And for me, when the question is the MCU done, I don't think it's done, but I think that problem right there is the reason why certain films a phase ago or a while ago were making 600 to 800 million at the box office, and now films that I believe are better than them are making 300 to 400 million at the box office, is because that audience that went to watch that last set just went, I am so lost. I'll just wait for it all to come out on, like, Disney Plus. I don't know what's going on. And I think that's what that is. But that's like my view. Now, I know you, funnily enough, before we recorded this show, you had a conversation with the missus about all of this, which is, which I like, by the way. I like that you two are conversing MCU. That's good.
It was one of those fun. So, sorry. We go for a walk most evenings, just kind of around the village, trying to keep fit and all that.
Yeah, all good.
And we were talking last night, and I had a walk, and she asked about, oh, you're doing a podcast recording tomorrow. Yeah. What are you recording about? Oh, we're recording one of the episodes about the MCU. Is it done or not? And she looked at me, she was like, oh. She went, well, it's not done, is it? Because they've got, like, so many things lined up. It can't be done. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
I don't mean it as in they're not making any more, it's been cancelled. I mean as in... And then went on this kind of, like, 10-minute monologue at her, basically.
Nice, yeah.
And we were discussing, and we were agreeing, like, a bit I said earlier, phases 1 to 3. You knew exactly where you were in all of it.
Yeah.
And you had one TV show that for X amount of series ran alongside it, wasn't compulsory to watch it.
Nope.
And eventually it kind of caught up to an extent that it then had to go off on its own anyway.
Yeah.
And then we got to kind of like phase 4 and 5, and they started bringing in these TV shows, and the movies all started moving around to all over the place.
Yeah.
And we were saying that even with the Thunderbolts, so at the end credit scene of Thunderbolts is 14 months later.
Yeah.
And I watched that, and I'm like, 14 months later, but from when?
Yeah.
Like, in all the previous movies, even like in Endgame, my wife said, even in Endgame, they're time travelling. But it tells you the exact time and place they've gone to.
Yep.
And you're able to work out exactly who's where, doing what, when and why. And it's literally put on the screen, you know.
Yeah.
They've gone to this planet at this date, or they've gone to this military base at this date.
Yeah.
And now we're having movies happen, and I cannot tell you any of Phase 5 where they're 100% based. Like what year they're based in, or even what order the events are happening in.
No, and I've watched some very, very good Marvel MCU creators put together timelines themselves, which then the next project seems to shit on. Like, I see them, like, work it all out. Like, oh, this clip here is a New Year's Eve clip, so we know this is this year, and that means the events of the film, because it goes beyond that, are in this year. And then they're like, the next project, they come out and they're like, well, then I don't know. They're like, you know, just...
And that is such a problem. Now, I cannot tell. Has this been done on purpose because of the whole, this is all multiverse stuff and it's all meant to be confused
I don't know.
and jumbled? Or is it just a case of Kevin Feige went away, everyone got given their own kind of, off you go, and they've gone, this film will be great if it happens over 3 years, so we're going to make this film span like 2 or 3 years.
I think it's that.
The next film.
I think it's that. I think they gave individual directors who they trusted free rein, so therefore the connection was lost. But
it's like they used to work together. Like you can see in phases 1 to 3, every film works with the guys that are coming up.
Yeah, but I will just say, if anyone from the MCU's listened to what you just said, they will totally rip that off and say, "Ha we did it on purpose. Were you all confused? The
multiverse. It was Doctor Doom messing with everyone.
Yeah.
And all the time. But no, like it's even like. Do you remember, like in phases 1 to 3, there'd be something really small and subtle would happen.
Yeah,
and then like 3 or 4 films later, it'd be referenced, and you'd be like, "Holy crap, that's clever!"
Yeah.
Wow,
that was
now
really
things are
common.
happening. And I'm now watching things happen, and I'm like, okay, let's use the Eternals as the great example.
Yeah.
4 years.
For
major event. 4 years of nothing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, some of the, don't get me wrong, like the Marvels, obviously that went into Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, the Marvels. They all linked together.
Yeah.
And they actually linked back to WandaVision with Photon.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Little bits like that. But then, as an actual whole scheme of things, you're kind of watching it go, well, okay, I'm watching these events, but what's that got to do with that?
Yeah.
Or we've seen the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. He's back on Earth.
Yeah.
Why?
With his
why is he back on Earth? Like that it didn't link up to anything other than Star-Lord will return. It's like, but when? Like, normally, it would say a character would return, and you would look at it and you'd go, they're going to be in this, this, and this. Great.
Yeah.
All we've got now is that, brilliant, all these guys are coming together for Doomsday.
Yeah.
Are we going to get to Doomsday? And, I mean, number one, I still have absolutely no idea what the timeline is at the moment.
No.
Doomsday could have happened between the 14 months end credit scene of Thunderbolts. I don't know.
Yep.
You know? And Captain America Brave New World, that gets referenced somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so how long ago did that happen? I think it's in Thunderbolts, they mention about the president turning red or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this has happened after.
Yeah.
But when did Captain America happen?
But did you think to yourself as well, like, it was laid out quite nicely in the past, and now you feel like you got to be a damn detective just to try and piece some of it together?
100%.
Like, that reference
and that's
about
my concern.
Yeah, and that's where I think the casual audience have gone, because it's just so difficult to keep it all and understand what's going on.
So I hold my hands up and admit. So like the TV stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of the TV stuff I've enjoyed,
Yeah.
but there are some Echo. We were talking last night. Me and my wife genuinely cannot remember
Yeah.
if we watched the entire Echo show or we just watched the first episode.
Yeah, you didn't. we had
As
that
far
chat
as I'm aware,
before.
I didn't watch it.
No.
But I remember bits of it, and I'm really confused as to, did I watch loads of it? Did I just watch clips of it on social
Yeah.
media? I don't. Now, I can honestly tell you, there was nothing that happened in phases 1 to 3 that I'm like, I don't remember if I watched that or not.
No, I know.
Ironheart. Now, Ironheart is out on Disney Plus at the moment,
Yep.
and
been out a
they
little
dropped
while.
that. Now, this confused me massively. It's a 6-part series.
Yeah.
They dropped it in 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Now that instantly, now to myself, I may be very wrong, but to myself, that tells me that they had very little confidence in this and decided that, having looked at some shows that go out for 7 or 8 weeks and each week get criticism,
Yeah.
they've kind of gone, right, get all of the hate out in 2 weeks.
Well, here's another perfect example. You are what I would define as a massive MCU fan. Like, you literally have one of your legs dedicated to Marvel characters.
Yes, I do.
So, by definition, the fact that the show Ironheart has been out a while, and you are how many episodes into watching it,
I have watched the first episode of Ironheart.
that immediately smacks to a problem that they've got. Now, not every project is going to be for everyone. Like, so some projects I've liked more than others, but in general, I've been like, okay, yeah, that's okay. Echo as a project was a good little show for me. Linked a couple of things to the Daredevil Born Again, which is a show I wax lyrical
Very
about.
much
Loved it.
Yep.
So that was kind of important, but in isolation, like, it just wasn't a story that like grabbed me. But a lot of people, it really did. with Ironheart, episode 1 didn't really grab me, and so when I watched episode 2 and 3 kind of back to back following that, because I watched episode 1 I think on one day, then I watched 2 and 3 together, I thought to myself, oh, I know why they've released it in 3. Because clearly they perhaps looked at it and went, oh, you're going to need to watch it together to really get into it. And by the end of episode 3, I was very much into it and very much intrigued as where they were going with it. I then realised, oh, hang on a minute, this is only 6 episodes, so they've dropped half of it all in one go. That's odd. Oh, wait a minute. Not only did they drop half of it in one go, they're dropping the other half literally the week later. So I was like, okay. So like you said, it smacks of Disney Plus looking at that show and going, yeah, no one's going to like that. Like, thanks for putting it together, guys, but no one's going to like it, so here you go. Now, I don't want to spoil this for you, and if anyone's listening who still hasn't watched it, I'm going to encourage everyone to watch it. And the reason why I'm going to encourage everyone to watch it is I'm fairly confident, arguably, one of the biggest parts of this series is the fact that it is creating the whole next phase. You talked earlier on about when you watched Quantum Mania, this was supposed to be the introduction to this big bad, this kind of thing, everything like that. I'm going to go on the record and say now, and I could be proven wrong, that if you don't watch Ironheart, the whole next phase, including Doom and everything, might not make sense. And
oh wow!
Because
Really?
of that, yeah, like really, like if you, when we're not recording, if you want me to tell you why, I will, because I think you'd still want to watch it.
I do. This to me is the exact problem I have with the MCU at the moment.
Yeah,
I know that I will end up watching Ironheart,
yeah,
and I do want to finish it because I started it.
yeah,
The problem is the fact that it's been out for a couple of weeks now,
yeah,
and I have not just taken the time to sit and watch it.
yeah,
Like, when other shows have come out, I mean, when Daredevil Born Again came out,
yeah,
I made sure the day each episode came out,
Yeah, you were.
I made sure that evening it was have dinner, put the kids to bed, sit my ass on the sofa and hit play.
Yeah.
There was nothing else, like anything else that had to be done was either done before the kids went to bed or after I have watched this show.
Yeah. And that's
Ironheart's come out and I'm like, if I get time tonight, I might chuck the second episode on.
I mean, the one thing I'd say to that, which is kind of key, is like not every project's going to grab you, but other people it might. Like for example, Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk, for example, I didn't feel grabbed by them. I enjoyed Ms. Marvel a lot, and I remember watching it. She-Hulk, I was kind of indifferent about until I watched it again. And when I watched it again, I watched it purely as a comedy set in the MCU. And it's freaking hilarious, that show. Like I would encourage anyone who felt indifferent about it to watch it again purely as like, okay, so this is the MCU basically poking fun at itself and having fun with this character that does that. And then watch it again and it's brilliant. But anyway, so I get that. I get exactly what you mean, because Daredevil Born Again, me and you, Daredevil series from Netflix, etc., you know, we can't say enough good things about it. When it comes to this, it's like one of those things where I kind of want to say to you, like, yeah, like, this is why you need to watch it, but it gives away massive... But anyway, that's kind of a side thing.
Spoiler!
Yeah, I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but we'll talk after, because I think you'll see what I mean when I say it. So let's try and draw this in as a conclusion then. Let's try and bring this back in. We asked ourselves at the start of this show, is the MCU done? We both said no, but both kind of did the Thunderbolts asterisks of kind of like, but we get, like, this is where there's problems. I think they have resolved their TV issue by hiring or appointing Brad Winderbaum to focus the TV shows now as TV shows set in the MCU, like those first 3 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where they're in the MCU going, oh wow, did you see that last week? This guy with a mask showed up. I know, scary, right? Anyway, back to our story. So they reference it, but you don't need, you know, to have everything. The references are fun if you've watched everything, but they're not taken away from the story. That, for me, is good, and if they can keep that, and keep the connectivity and keep it so you can just watch this series and enjoy it without having to watch 31 films, 6 other series before you start it. Do you see what I mean with saying that? That's good. I think the movies, the last few I have seen, feel more like the MCU that hooked me originally.
Yeah.
So for me, with Feige back, fully focused on that, Brad Winderbaum fully focused on TV, and they've separated it. You know, you got Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, Marvel Animation now, because the Spider-Man animated series was fun, like a real load of fun.
I enjoyed that, and the kids enjoyed that. I've got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
And they enjoyed that so much. They now want to watch the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, well, good. That was a perfect introduction to them. And also X-Men 97. Really enjoyable. So they've started for me to correct what is this mess, but at the moment I still don't know what the hell's going on, when it is, or anything. So there's still work to do, but for me they've turned the corner. So for me, my kind of final answer on it is absolutely not. It's not done, but with the little asterisks, they need to now land this where they are. Like Doomsday and these films that are coming up need to really tell us everything again. Like really bring all of these strands that they've had, slam it back together, so we're like, oh, right, we are all on this page now. And then from that point on, keep the story so we can follow it. Otherwise, again, like you'll have this big event with Doomsday and people will watch it and be like, okay, I understand it, like Endgame. And then it's all going to go afterwards. And if you go all over the place again, I think that's where the MCU... I don't think the MCU could survive two lots of that, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But so that's my view. What about you? So the question again, like we asked earlier, is the MCU done? What's your kind of final thoughts?
The answer is no, but I have got some concerns.
Okay.
I'm concerned. I'll just give my little bit. I'm concerned a bit for the Avengers Doomsday.
Okay.
I am in my head convinced that at the end of Thunderbolts in the after credit scene, that was not the Fantastic Four. That was Doctor Doom coming to Earth.
Yeah,
616.
a few people think that. Yeah.
I'm fairly convinced on that. It's a big ensemble movie, like Infinity War was, and like Endgame was.
Yeah.
The difference I find is that in those first three phases
Yeah.
of the MCU leading into that, everybody had an amazing connection to every single character.
Yeah.
There wasn't any kind of animosity towards anyone. All those characters were well liked and loved characters.
Yeah.
We are now going into Doomsday, and we're going to have the Avengers, the Wakandans, the Fantastic Four, the new Avengers, possibly
Yeah. With a Z. Yeah.
with a Z,
Yeah.
and the original X-Men are meant to be coming back.
Yeah.
That's a lot of characters, and you only need to go on social media or see how the recent films are doing and the TV shows, for example, to see that kind of universal love for all those characters isn't there.
Yeah.
And there's obviously the Secret Wars coming along after that as well. So chances are it's going to be a lot like Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
They're going to lose the first film, win the second film because they're the good guys and the heroes. Yay!
Well, I mean, you've got the Russo brothers who literally did Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. So the Russo brothers are the kind of the shining hope in this.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned with Robert Downey Jr. coming back.
Do you know what? I was wondering if you were going to bring that up because I know how Iron Man is.
I loved Iron Man and Tony Stark, but it actually screams to me almost in desperation. Like, they're watching the MCU and how it's going now, and it almost feels like they're going, it's not doing as well since we lost these characters. How can we bring these guys back?
Yeah.
Let's bring him back as a bad guy instead. And I'm like, there are so many fantastic actors in the world. Why are we having to bring back one of the most loved characters in the MCU?
I will
to
say
make him a bad guy. And I'm
I
like, I know in the comics there is a comic arc where
no.
that is exactly what happens.
I wasn't gonna say that because I think I've realised over the years there's a comic arc for everything. Like,
everything.
what I will say is, I saw an interview with Robert Downey on a podcast a few months ago now, and he was very much saying that he was like, no, Tony's gone. Let's not cheapen that. Let's not do that. The Russo brothers, no, Tony's gone. Let's not cheapen it. No, there's no way. Like, they're just, we don't want to do like a variant of him showing. No, let's not do it. And Feige sat down with the Russo brothers and then sat down with Downey and talked through the exact story of how Tony Stark, Doom, this whole thing, how Downey could play Doom, basically.
How is he going to be Victor Von Doom
and
when everyone knows him as...
Yeah, right? So he literally said on this thing, he said, I can't say anything for obvious reasons. He said, but the way it connected to things that we've done blew my mind, and I just had to do it because I think once the fans dive into this, they're going to love it, and so it had to be me.
Oh, mate, I have got, all fingers crossed. You know what I mean?
It's
I
difficult...
want this to be as good as Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh, we all do.
I think for the MCU, I think it has to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think if we come out of Secret War
Yeah.
and people are still kind of, you get all the woke comments and all stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is, I have realised that those 4 letters are one of the most hated things in my entire world.
Yeah.
And if you listen to our next podcast about Star Wars, you'll probably find out why. Just plug that one in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think the MCU is not done. The answer to your question, no, it is not done.
Okay.
If they do not land these 2 Avengers films,
Yeah.
it could be.
And I think the important thing to say about that is Disney's not a charity. So these films are going to be very expensive. If Marvel Studios don't land them as billion-dollar, ticket sales, don't nail the cinematic releases, Disney will pull the MCU.
Yeah.
So look at it that way. Mate, I think we've had a really good discussion on this. I hope everyone listening's enjoyed it. You can get in touch with us via all the socials, Instagram, Blue Sky. We're not on that Elon app anymore. Facebook, you can get in touch with us. The Facebook page is quite busy nowadays. You can also email us directly. You can come through to me, Sam, at stuffandthangspodcast.com. There's a contact form via the website. And if you want to actually have a conversation with us and you want to talk about any of these episodes or any of the projects, past, future, anything at all, just generally have a chat with us, you can join us on our Discord server, which is basically just a chat room. Me, Stefan, Kaylee, when she's around, will literally just dive in there, talk about whatever, the conversations are, the topics. This one will be a good one. Is the MCU done? We all have different opinions on different MCU projects, and that's part of the fun of it, discussing it. So you can get involved, and you can find the links to everything in our podcast description or on our website, which is all the W's, stuffandthangspodcast.com. And breathe. Okay, so that is our show. Thank you to everybody for listening. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week, as we said, with episode 003. Does anyone hate Star Wars more than Star Wars fans? I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to leave you with Stefan and his final thoughts.
Remember, people, for every 60 seconds that pass, it's been a minute.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.